This is what it starts as. Oh, snap. So when you lay it side by side, there's quite a contrast. And it almost doesn't look possible that you could get this out of this. But what you're dealing with the metalworking and the forging is you have a specific amount of material to work with. That's a square piece of steel, and it's almost 3/4 of an inch thick square. So when you start thinning it down, it's going to lengthen. So what I do is I take half of this material, forge it down into a 1/2 inch square. So now it's quite a bit longer. I twist it, that gives me the handle section. Now I still have half of the railroad spike for the blade. So this much of this spike will create a blade that large as you start thinning it and widening it. So it's, you can really manipulate the shape of the material when it's hot and out of the way. About 1500 degrees to 2000 degrees is the temperature that you can work these metals and change the shape of it. So, and that, just to give you an idea.
I like to imagine you have a lot of protective gear while you're doing this too.
Yeah, well, the forging, I'm pretty sloppy. The basic forging I don't, because you don't have much material coming off. The most dangerous part is when I'm forge welding this, because it's semi-molten. It's 2300 degrees, very soft. You have to use a flux, just like if any of you have ever been around any kind of welding.
Yeah.
Welding rod has a flux on it. MIG welding, you're using a gas for a flux. All that does, it's an oxygen shield. You're shielding the oxygen away from the weld. Oxygen will ruin your weld. It's even more critical with this because I'm welding 35 pieces there. I've got 70 surfaces that have to be perfectly clean and at the exact right temperature to be able to forge weld. So it's very critical. So I use a flux, and it's basically household borax. And when that hits about 1600 degrees, it turns into borosilicate glass. So it actually has a glass coating over it. So when I hit this thing at 2300 degrees, you have glass that's 2300 degrees spraying everywhere. So it burns holes in whatever it touches as far as material, skin, hair. So that, I wear leather, face shield, gloves. Sometimes it gets down the glove.
That's not fun.
Anybody that says that they're a blacksmith or a knife maker, if they don't have little scars and burns on them, I would question their honesty. But